Hello and welcome back to the Entertainment Vortex. My name is Zakaro and I'm joined today by Gallows, as always, and we are playing some more Dauntless. We have a ton of fun with this game, and it seemed like you guys really enjoyed it, so we're going to jump back in and do a couple more hunts here. First off, I've got a quest to hunt a Shrike, so we're going to jump in and do that. As you can see, we've had some gear changes. I had one gear change, where Gallows, on the other hand, has had quite a few. What upgrades you got there now, Gallows?
I've been playing quite a bit, so I'm actually in Tier 4 here. This is some Carabac armor. So he's a big bug flying thing. He's actually one of the newer monsters they implemented, but he is super cool. He's actually a monster which, spoiler alert, he goes invisible. It's pretty
awesome.
Amazing. But his armor set, I have to say, is some of the coolest looking stuff. The cool part about his armor is that it doesn't have any like elemental resists on it to help you with any of that stuff, but it does have some of the highest armor in the game. So when you're looking at going from T4 to T5, this is kind of the set I've chosen to go at, and I will be hunting the Shroud at some point.
Very cool. Sounds good. Well, let's go ahead and jump in here, take out this Shrike, and go from there. Since the last time you played, I have learned quite a bit about the Warpike. As you guys know, if you watched our last episode, it was a brand new weapon at that time, and we were kind of playing around with it. Well, it turns out that as you fight with it, it gains energy, and you'll see a bar in the upper left-hand corner. And if you get hit, all the energy goes away, but you can store the energy in like a, I guess you can call it like a charge. And then as you play through, you can expend those charges by firing them at the monster like a bullet. It's like a beam of energy. It's super cool. And you get bonus damage the more of those bullets or beams you fire in a row. So if you charge them all up and you keep them all handy and fire them all one after another, you get bonus damage. So that was really cool. There's definitely more to this weapon than when I had first used it the last time we were playing this with you guys. Very cool.
I may have crashed here, so
Uh-oh.
May have to reset.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking on that Warpike, though, I will tell you, I have seen some, just since I've been playing quite a bit, I've seen some really, really cool things with it. A lot of people getting super efficient with it, and they are charging those bullets up, and they're able to bop the monster and knock them down, and really cool timing aspects of it, because I know that I tried it myself, and it's not easy to get that timing down, so these guys are getting pretty good at it.
Yeah, the timing is super tricky. I had a fight I was doing when I took on my first regular Nasher that I got lucky. I'd like to say I did it on purpose, but I didn't. I got lucky and I fired it right as he charged at me and it knocked him down. It was a very cool moment. That's what these games were built off of, in my opinion. It was epic action movie style moments, but I thought that was really cool. So did you crash out?
So it looks like I did crash.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. It is an early access. That doesn't happen from time to time. So we will do a quick fade cut, and when we are back, we will be back in the mission with him with me. So hang tight. Okay, so we went ahead and got reconnected. No big problem. There was a big patch today, and I know they've been having some on and off problems, but they're getting all that ironed out, so it's part of the beta process. I'm glad they're getting it all worked out now before the open beta happens. So let's jump right in. Something that Gallows had mentioned that I think is an excellent piece of information is to remember, as you come out of the tutorial fights, and then you go into the regular fights, you're gonna find that the jump in difficulty is pretty big. But don't let that discourage you, because in this type of game, the biggest difficulty boost is when you first go to a new tier, and that's because you're using the previous tier's equipment. But as you get more and more of the better gear, it becomes easier and easier as you go. So you just get through it, get some parties going with some help, and before you know it, you'll have a nice solid set of gear, and it'll be a lot easier. And then, of course, you'll go to the next tier, and you'll do it all over again, but that's the fun. The challenge is part of the fun.
Absolutely. And then also, you're going to definitely get better learning the monster's tells and things like that, so learning the fight is actually going to be part of that, too, to where you just become more efficient, and gear and knowing the monster just should be a lot easier for you. Because I will say some of these tiers the change in tier levels is pretty darn brutal. And you will find yourself just getting decimated at times and going, how am I going to do this? But like Hikaru said, is that you get yourself a pretty decent party. You can even find some people out there that may be a little bit geared up. This community, I say, so far has been really great. You got a lot of higher level slayers out there that want to help some of the new guys out there, and they're very easy to find people to help with certain hunts.
Yeah, and if you get that kind of help, remember to pay it forward. Once you're at the end of a tier and you've got the gear and the experience with the monsters you're fighting, jump in and help some people that are just coming up. That's what makes the community so great, is that everybody lends each other a hand and then they pay it back in, and it just becomes this circle of community and camaraderie. And that's one of the great things about these types of games, is you're going into these giant boss fights, but you're not going in alone. And that makes it all the much more fun, especially if you can find a group to play with regularly. That makes it even more fun, going in with friends. Where is this monster?
He's over here.
Oh, there he is.
Found him.
Cool. I like this monster. This is my favorite so far. Okay. Let's see if I can not get killed. Because I am at that just entering the tier range. Oh, that was quick. Okay. Anytime you want to leave me alone, that'd be great. Great. Okay. This sure is a cool monster. Still getting used to exactly what the distance on this weapon is. Okay, better back off the die. Whichever one works. I'm down. I think we should have did a warm-up fight before we hit record.
Just have to wear him down a little bit.
I gotta remember the weapon as well. You're doing a lot of damage to him. I'm like poking him and you're like slamming him. That's awesome. Sometimes you just gotta get carried. Oh, that looks bad. Love the design of this guy. Giant death owl. So there, I just charged a shot. If you look in the upper corner there, you'll see that there's a pip underneath the third bar as I get slammed into. That would be one of the charged shots. Let's see if I can get another one in here and then fire a couple off. That's ideal. I'm getting confused on the controls of another game, but that's okay. That happens when you play multiple games. You love how this weapon flows. It feels really good. Are you using a different weapon over there from last time, Gallows?
Yeah, if you've noticed, yeah, I'm using the axe. I was a huge Chainblade fan, and they ended up changing them quite a bit, and they just felt really lacking when I picked them back up again. So I ended up wanting to try something new, and I went with the axe. And the axe is totally different from the chain blade, and it's all about big damage. So I really got addicted to seeing those big numbers, and so now I just try and hammer the monster, get in, get out. So it's a totally different play style, but it's one I'm enjoying so far.
Very cool. That's half the fun of grabbing a new weapon. Is the playstyles differ so drastically that it's almost playing a completely different character. Sometimes it's like the difference between playing a wizard and a tank, or the equivalent in your style of game. He definitely looks like he's getting tired. Not that it stops him from hitting me. Oh no, I'm stuck on the tree! Oh no, I'm gonna die!
That does happen too.
Yeah, at least I can drink a potion. Oh, well, at least he can't hit me when I'm stuck on the tree. Yeah, I bet you I can shoot him. Yep, I shot him. Hey, you're close enough to the tree. That's a dangerous place to be, monster.
Oh no, I'm stuck with you now. Alright, we're gonna try and get the unstuck button.
The fight
here.
has to happen here. Okay, he's gotta come to us. I don't think he can hit us against this tree, so I think he's out of luck. I almost feel like we're cheating.
So I did use the unstuck feature in the game.
Oh, is there
obviously being beta. Yeah, you
where's
hit
that?
the escape button, and under help, there's a I'm stuck button.
Oh, yep. Okay. Ah, look at that! It fixed it. Oh, it put me back at the camp. Okay. Can you fire a flare for me?
Yep.
I did not see it. Nope, but I see you. Okay. Off in the distance. Back to adventure. Never a dull
Round
moment
two.
in Dauntless. I love it. At least when we were stuck in the tree, we weren't getting hit. So it was a fair bug. I'll give it that. It could have been much worse. Okay, back at it. He looks pretty wobbly. I think you've done a lot of damage. I love that little sonic boom thing he does. It's so cool. I keep jumping.
Hey, you want to try and roll through them, or you want to bop them right there?
Yeah, I get
Charges. Oh, look at that! Knocked off a piece.
Ah, get out of there! Don't land on me. You landed on me. I'm down again. Gallows to the rescue! and you put out big numbers. It's awesome. Shot. See if I can get a couple shots in the garage while he's down. Second shot.
He's had enough.
Can you leave? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that just means I can go and shoot him. I got a couple shots built up. Show everybody how that works. Oh, grab the thing that got knocked off. Any more I missed? Oh, there's one more over here. You definitely want to grab these.
I got a.
There we go.
Got a new lantern since we last recorded too, and I got this shield thing, which is super supporty, but I find it very helpful, especially when we're going into having people lower level and doing some smaller hunts. But giving this shield to other people that are nearby seems super useful, so I ended up taking this one and putting it on a pretty good lantern.
What is it? What does the shield do? Is it just a boost to defense, or I didn't notice I was getting that there?
It just adds like temporary hit points. There's a
Nice.
little blue bar that it kind of puts, and it takes damage out first from the shield rather than
Very
your
cool.
life.
That's very helpful. I mean, the goal in all these games is to not get hit, but it's pretty much impossible. So you're going to get hit every once in a while, so anything you have to absorb some of that is good. Oh, he's right over here. Okay, let's see if I can pull this off. So you charge it, and you shoot. Got him.
Oh, nice shot.
Charge it, and you shoot. And that one right above him. If you charge too long, it's kind of a timing thing. If you charge too long, it kind of goes wild. But as you can see, it's definitely something we didn't know existed when we were playing with this weapon last time, and that is a really cool addition. It adds a lot of. Oops, gotta dodge that. Gotta dodge that too. Adds a lot of depth to the melee weapon. I like that. Oh wow! Shattered that shield. It's a cool visual effect. Up, shattered it again. Okay. Starting to see his tells. Whoa. He is rage or?
Now enraged. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. That looks awesome. Eyes are glowing all evil. Whoa! My heart skips a beat every time he does that, and I'm in the direction he's shooting at. Oh, looks like he came down. He took a chill pill. Oh, that was awesome! Oh, he looks like he's dragging a bit.
Oh, I missed him.
Looks like he's not doing too good anyway. Ah. Just left to charge that shot. Whoa. Do we have a fissure? Oh, he's right on top of the fissure. Okay. Now I noticed that you can only take 5 potions into battle. Is that just the cap? Is there any way to get more? He's gonna hit me.
No, and I don't know if that's gonna really stay true to the number, because before the big overhaul to the game, they made it to where You could take like 5 smaller potions, but 3 of the bigger potions. It seems to be they kind of standardized it, and it's like the same number.
Okay.
But again, that could change later down the road. But
yeah,
as of right now, it just seems like resources are a little bit tougher to come by. So you can take your 5 potions, but if you're using the big potions, maybe on the bigger, harder fights, and maybe the smaller ones on some weaker ones. It just seems to be kind of the going thing.
Yeah, I guess in similar situations, similar games, I'm used to having more healing if needed. But hey, you get used to what you're allowed to bring, and you try to make the best of what you got. And of course, this also has those fissures where you can heal as well, which is nice.
True, and we are 2-manning this 4-man monster. So
oh, that is a good
we're
point.
having to put out the.
That is a good point. You normally can't have 4 people. Of course, your damage is pretty much 3 people, so that helps. Where did he go? Maybe up here?
Might have went up the hill to the left.
He went up over here.
That's another great thing too, is that the other half of just helping people too is coming back into some of the lower levels. You can gain a lot of the materials that are only found in these tier maps, so you can stock up on some of the plants and things like that to make the lower potions, because those potions, whether they're lower or not, they're always going to be useful, because they kind of scale in a sense that there's a basic potion, but then there's also group heal potions, and then there's airdrop potions. So there's a wider range of different things that you can actually bring to the fight with you, not just potions. So everything from the airdrops that provide you with healing to defensive potions and resist things like that. So all that stuff will be super useful, and gaining all the mats even in the lower levels helps out.
Very cool. Yeah, it's good to have a secondary bonus for coming to help somebody. Absolutely. You were talking about airdrops a moment ago. It had mentioned those to me, but I hadn't got to a point where I could do one yet. What is that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me show you one here. I brought one with me.
Okay.
This one is a
we did
resource
a Christmas
spotter.
one last time, but we didn't really talk about it.
Yeah, this one is very cool for especially maps that you're not too familiar with. If you find a map that you just starting out and finding out where some of the spawn zones for the resources are. This one will shoot up in the air, and nothing actually drops, but it's going to highlight a lot of the resources around with like a little leaf.
I can see it. Yeah, little leaf icons. That's cool. That'll help you get everything on the map and not leave anything behind. I wouldn't even have known this tree was something you can harvest. Very cool. Where did this guy go?
I think he's over on this big bluff to our right.
I think you scared him. I don't blame him. I saw those damage numbers. He probably took one look at one of those 1,200 damage crits and said, forget this. I'm going to the next island over. Now, those airdrops, are those craftable, consumable, or are those like one-time hunt kind of things?
They are craftable, and usually the airdrops are one per fight.
Okay.
So you're right on both accounts.
There you go. That's a good guess. Got him? Cool. Whoa! I came around the corner and a sonic boom was heading for my head there. Nice. Dodged that one. Getting the hang of them. You start learning the patterns pretty quick. It's just getting, perfecting them is the hard part. Seeing those tells and having them be just reflex. It's like, oh, he twitched his right wing, I better hit this button, that type of thing. Sooner or later, you don't even have to think about it.
You definitely get better at bopping the monster, and knocking him over. So it's just the axe axe is one of the harder ones to actually do it with because the range is so
slower.
short, but
Yeah. Got it. Nice. Felt like I did better the second half. I did the first half. Getting back in the swing of things. Oh, I would have never guessed that you were going to be chosen as the Bastion.
just have to get you geared up, man.
Yeah, well, I get the hang of it too. I've been playing a different game for the last few days, so you get the muscle memory of those controls, and it doesn't take that long to get back and going again. Towards the second half, it felt natural again. These controls are really good too. They're laid out in a way where it's quick to learn and quick to become second nature, and it feels natural, and that's so important in a game like this where quick reaction times and precision is so important because you're obviously fighting a big boss that's trying to take you out. So I do really enjoy the controls. I use a controller for this game, I should mention, and the controls are very well done, the default controls. You use a keyboard and mouse, I assume, is that correct?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, how are the controls on that? I know that it's kind of a...
They're great.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good. I know it was a
Yeah,
genre
I mean,
built for
they
controller.
are...
I'm glad it translates over well. That's awesome.
It really does. I mean, I've tried essentially all the weapons, and they all feel really good with the mouse and keyboard. I have to say, I mean, they're not too complex, but on the other hand, they actually are changing them too, as a matter of fact. But there's enough there to where really mastering those controls are what it's all about, because these monsters are so varied in their tells and the things that they do and their threat zones. So having that control of where you are, what you want to do with the controls is the important thing. Because I'm sure with the warpike, as it is with the axe, is that you kind of do this dance where you're moving forward and you're rolling sideways and being able to kind of position yourself inside those threat areas and getting out into a safer zone is really that kind of dance with the controls to where it really is a real precise mechanic.
Absolutely.
And that's what I find super intriguing about it, because it's like, yeah, it's very simple, but it's all about maximizing where you want to put yourself.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is when you're kind of learning that dance and getting that nuance in there, it feels like the controls are never the problem. And what I mean by that is, in some games you'll get hit and you'll curse and say it's not fair. In this game, I never get hit and blame the controls, like I hit that or I did that. It feels like the controls are good. The controls are tight enough where when I say to dodge, it dodges, and if I just don't say it in time, well, then I get hit. So I can trust that the game is based solely on my input and my choices, and that for this type of game, that's super important. Obviously, sometimes it lags, but without the lag, the controls are on point. The way they did the animations and the weapon attacks and such, I really dig that. So before we end this episode, I want to see if I can make a piece of the Shrike armor. Let's see. I had the chest piece for Nasher, so that'll be the last one. Let's make the helmet. Hey, I can! Nice. See, it's that easy. Already getting geared up. Oh wow, I can make another piece. Let's do that.
Yeah, we got a few breaks on that, so those break pieces are going to be very important on being able to craft what you want. So
cool. So I was able to make head, arms, and feet, and then I had the chest piece from Nasher. So while I don't have the whole set of Shrike, I do have a full set of upgraded gear. That should help quite a bit going into the next fight. Very, very cool. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Thank you for joining us for this episode. You let us know that you enjoyed the Dauntless content, and we definitely enjoyed the Dauntless content, so we have more to come. Definitely put a like on this video if you want to see more, and comment down below on what weapon you're using and where you are in the game. I'd love to hear from you guys, fellow hunters. And as always, we hope you'll follow us into the Vortex. We'll see you next time.